Hello everyone, welcome to another video on AWS. In this video, I am going to demonstrate you how to create a virtual private cloud or VPC from scratch. We will also configure public and private subnets. Let's see the agenda in detail. We will start the process by creating the VPC and two subnets inside the VPC. One will be public subnet and another will be private subnet. Each subnet will have a route table. So we'll create two route tables. Then we'll create an internet gateway for our public subnet and we'll start by launching the instances on the subnets. We'll end the video by testing the connectivity with the instances from our local machine. Now let's go to the AWS console and start the process. So here you can see I have logged into my AWS account and I'll click on this VPC. So it will take you to the VPC dashboard. Let's wait for some time. And yes, so you can see the VPC dashboard here, and in this VPC dashboard you can see all the resources related to the VPC. If you have 2 or 3 VPCs, you can see the count over here. Right now I only have one VPC, that's why it's showing 1, and all the other resources you have related to the VPC, you will see the counts here. Now here I'll click on this VPC. And in this page you can see all the VPCs you have. Right now I have one VPC, so you can see this, but Amazon by default gives you a VPC called default VPC. In my account you won't be able to see that VPC because I have deleted that VPC and I have created a new VPC. So in my account this VPC will be considered as a default VPC. To create a new VPC you have to click on create VPC button here. Let's give it a name first. And the next option is the CIDR block. Here you have to provide the range of the IP addresses which you are going to have for your VPC. But before putting a value here, let's try to understand how CIDR works. So CIDR block contains two parts. One IP address, slash, and a number. So this IP address is the first IP address of your VPC. And after the slash, this number decides how many IP addresses will be happening for your VPC. How this number decides that? Let's see that. Let's say this number after the slash is n. So the total number of IP addresses we'll be having for your VPC will be 2 to the power of 32 minus n. So in this case it will be 2 to the power of 32 minus 28, which is 2 to the power of 4, so 16. So the first IP address of your range will be 172.16.0.0, which is also mentioned over here, which is the starting of your range, and the last IP address will be 172.16.0.15. so you will be having total 16 IP addresses in your VPC. For our example, we'll create 64 IP addresses for our VPC. So the CIDR block will be 172.16.0.0, which is the starting of our range, slash 26. So 32 minus 26 is 6, 2 to the power of 6 is 64. That means for our VPC, we'll be having 64 IP addresses. Let's click on create. Once it is created, you will be able to see this VPC ID. This VPC ID will be unique for your account. Now that your VPC is created, you'll be able to see the VPC listed under your VPC section. So here an important concept is the main route table. So by default when we create a VPC, Amazon creates a route table called the default route table, and that route table will be the main route table of your VPC. To see the routes in the route table, you have to click on this route table. And here under the routes section, you can see we have a local route. That means all the instances we'll create under this VPC will be able to talk to each other, but they won't be able to talk with the internet. But in our example, we'll create two subnets and we'll also create two separate route tables for the subnets. We have to make sure that after creating a route table, we are associating the route table with the subnets. Otherwise, it will use the default route table. But if you want to change the main route table, you can create a new route table and you can make that route table as a main route table. Now let's create two subnets. So as you know, we have total 64 IP addresses available right now. So divide these 64 IP addresses within two subnets. We need to provide the CIDR block of each subnet. So these are the subnets of my other VPC. I'll just hide these subnets. So I'll search demo, which is the name of our VPC which you just created, and you can see we don't have any subnets for the VPC. Now we'll click on create subnet. Let's give it a name. Choose the VPC. Here the name of the VPC is VPC AWS demo. And now comes to the CIDR block section. Depending on the VPC we'll choose here, it will show you the available CIDR block. For our subnet, we need 32 IP addresses. 32 means 2 to the power of 5. That means 32 minus 27. So the IP CIDR block for this subnet will be 172.16.0.0, which will be the starting IP address of this subnet /27. That means for this subnet we'll have 32 IP addresses, and the end IP address will be 172.16.0.31. I'll click on create. So our first subnet is created. Let's create another subnet. Create subnet. Choose VPC. Now here the starting IP address will be 172.16.0.32 because for the first subnet the ending IP address was 172.16.0.31. Click on create. So now we have two subnets in this VPC. Now let's create two route tables, one for the public subnet and another for the private subnet. Here you can see we already have a route table. So this route table gets created when we create the VPC. And by default this route table will be considered as the main route. Let's create the route tables. Choose the VPC. Click on create. Let's create the another one. Now that we have these two route tables, we have to associate these route tables with the subnets. Here an important concept is this explicit subnet association. If you are not associating these route tables with any of the subnets, by default the main route table will be used by the subnets. Now let's associate the route tables with the subnets. So we'll click on the route table here, click on subnet association, edit, and here you can see we have two subnets, public and private. Click on public here and save. So the public route table is now associated with the public subnet. Let's associate the private route table with the private subnet. Now we are going to add the routes to the route table. For the public route table, we are going to add a route to the internet gateway. Now we'll create an internet gateway and we'll add a route to the internet gateway for the public route table. Let's go to the internet gateways. Here you can see we don't have any internet gateway. To create a new internet gateway for this VPC, click on create internet gateway. We'll give it a name. click create. It will create an internet gateway. Once your internet gateway is created, you have to attach the internet gateway with the VPC. For that, you have to select the internet gateway, go to actions, then click on attach to VPC. Here you have to select the VPC. In this case, this is the VPC, and click on attach. Now you can see the status has become attached. Now let's go to route tables. Click on the public route table, go to the routes, edit routes, and here you have to add routes for the internet gateway. I'll click on add routes, and for destination we'll select the internet bound traffic, and for target it will be the internet gateway, and we'll hit save. So up to this step, let's review what all instances we have created. So let's go to your VPC, and here we have created a VPC, and let's go to subnets, and here you can see we have two subnets, one public and another private. We have two route tables, and we have associated these route tables with subnets, and also we have created an internet gateway. And also for the public route table, we have added a route to the internet gateway for all the internet bound traffics. So we have successfully configured our VPC. Now let's try to launch an EC2 instance inside the VPC. Let's click on launch instance. Select this Amazon Linux to AMI. Click next. And here you have to make sure you have selected the correct VPC and the subnet. So I'm going to launch this EC2 instance inside the public subnet. So I'll click on this public subnet. And click on enable. Next. Next. Add some name. Click on next. And launch. So here our instance is all ready. You can see the private IP address and the public IP address. So we can connect to this instance from our local machine. Let's try that. Let's try to connect the instance using PuTTY. I have pasted the public IP address here, and I'll click on open. And here you can see I have successfully logged into the EC2 instance. Thank you so much for watching my video, and if you find this video really helpful, please share this video with your friends and colleagues who are willing to learn AWS.